Welcome back to part 2 of Silent Reach. In this Sea Power video I am working with the Kirov. Previously she's had to defend herself against wave upon wave of AGM-84 Harpoon. We have returned fire, been able to sink a Ticonderoga class cruiser. Maybe that leaves the rest of the NATO forces open to attack. We'll see how it goes. We have a salvo in the air. Let's see how that does. Shipwrecks are now in sea skimming mode. And we are out for blood. Surprisingly, they haven't sorted out their targets, so they're seemingly all going for one particular target, which is not really what I want them to do. But if that's what these missiles have detected... Oh, never mind, here we go. Now they're spreading themselves out. So this is apparently big enough that it warrants 4 missiles. Make that 5. The rest of them are going to get met by 1 or 2 missiles. This one has been identified, most likely a Perry, considering it's also throwing harpoons back at me. And this could be another Perry. I think the Perry carries like, what, 8 harpoons? It doesn't have a whole lot, and we shot down a bunch of them. I'm also well outside of their range by now. So oh. Not in their interceptor range, that is. There we go. There's 1, 2, 3 ships. That was another shipwreck that can intercept it. Again, apologies for this being very dark, but this is what Vulcan said in his scenario, so I'm gonna follow his rules. His party, his rules. Come on, I just need 1 hit. I don't need a lot, I just need 1 good hit. That's the end of another ship. Oh, hello. And it looks like we're gonna get more than 1. Oh, this one decided for another target. That was a dead Perry. Next missile. Going for a Perry? Boom. Yep, dead Perry. And these guys are going for... another? Okay, so we splashed another 2 Perrys. We hit the Wadsworth. And we hit track 7044, which apparently was also a Perry. I think that they still have survivors. There's one sailing over there. And there's another one over there, which honestly you're not supposed to see. But I have a setting turned on that I shouldn't have turned on. In the game, you can go to the options menu and have a hide unidentified in 3D, and poof, it's gone. So this is something that I sometimes turn on, mostly for video purposes. Anyway, we've eliminated 3 of their ships. Now, apparently, there are 2 more. And I'm fresh out of anti-ship missiles, or at least the long-range ones. Let's go up. And do the scout run. And we're still looking at an ETA of 11:23, so about 2.5 hours. A little less than that. I wish I could identify these things. No, it's not a merchant. This is either a Perry or a Garcia. So let's say it's... Let's say it is a... What, like a... Garcia, that's a what, a destroyer? No, here it's a frigate. If it's a Garcia frigate, it has almost no weaponry that could really hurt me. If it's a Perry, it has those RGM-84s, the harpoons. And it has the Standard Missile 1 medium-range interceptors. And the Ticonderoga, of course, has been eliminated. If it's a Perry, I might be able to just knock it out using my guns. If I really have to. If it's a Spruance, that's a destroyer, I believe. If it is a Spruance, it does have harpoons, but did they send those? That's something I don't know. Did they send them or not? It's rather important information at this point of the battle. Okay, let's surface search for a second. We've moved on. Semi-large. Still don't know what it is. The other one is also ahead. Okay, we may have to just finish the job using guns. Or just race towards that drop-off point. Let's first see what these guys are going to do. More harpoons coming in. There's at least one. But NATO generally doesn't just send one. They just send a bunch of them. And it's already 4 miles away from the Kirov, so this is going to get another... There we go, killed it. Close reception. What I just realized is that these SAN-6s are also in anti-surface mode. So they can be used to intercept surface targets. I.e. surface ships. So if I am going to get a little closer to 50 miles, I should be able to engage those. And with that, I might actually be able to knock out another couple of ships. I just need to get closer. So let's set another range circle. Because we now have the 65 miles for their anti-ship missiles. I'm going to say another 50 from mine. There. Is a helicopter around? I don't think so, Sunshine. Shoot that. Wait, we don't have a missile out yet? We just have an emission on this thing. We don't exactly know what that Sea Sprite is. I do suspect that the Sea Sprite will not really have a landing platform anymore, because their landing platform is looking like that. The other one is not doing a whole lot better. At least this flight deck's upright, but you're going to have to go 500 feet down in order to find your landing spot. Okay, let's close the distance a bit and try to wipe out that entire NATO task force. As my helicopter was moving up to another position to scout from, it visually spotted, yes, it looked out the window and it saw a couple of these things. Very impressed with the helicopter crew. There's more AGM, there's more harpoons incoming. That's the short of it. There's more harpoons incoming. So, once again, we're going to have to defend the Kirov. I really expected that these guys would be out of missiles by now, but apparently we're not quite at that stage. And they are definitely not within my range yet. Okay, fine. Go down. 200 feet's fine. Unfortunately, even with the excellent sensors that the Kirov has, it's not yet detecting those sea skimmers. Those harpoons, they're gonna come in. And we know at least their vector, but it concerns me that I don't exactly know where they are. Here they come now. That's the harpoons we were waiting for. Took them a bit longer than expected, but then again, these things only fly at 540 knots. So they do take a little bit of time to get there. I still have 70 interceptors on 33 short range. I should be fine. The Kirov has already taken bigger bursts, at least you'd think so. How many missiles is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 6. So that rules out a Garcia, that's for sure. Garcias aren't carrying harpoons. I'm gonna have to turn the ship around. Need to get my Seaways more time to work. These guys kind of flying too high. They're going for the chaff. Good lord, look at that wall of defenses coming up. Oh, no, actually, he's jumping. But he's jumping and missing. Yeah, he's done. As for that last missile... Ooh. Oh boy. Damage control. Slight hull damage, but a lot of our weapon systems got knocked out. The RBU-1000s got knocked out. The AK... Well, the guns and the engines are still functional. They got the Bass tilt. What, we got... Did we lose our radar? I think our air search is still functional. Yeah, air search is still functional, but we lost our surface search. Shit. I've also lost my helicopter. My second helicopter, that is. So at this point, it's not looking terribly great. On the other hand, considering the amount of missiles we've knocked out so far, I think we've done a very good job with this ship. Sucks that I don't have tracks on those things anymore. Okay, fine. We'll launch the third helo. I do need eyes. And without a surface search radar on this ship, I don't know if they're closing in or not. I really hope that by now they're really out of harpoons. Because they just keep flinging those things at me like they just never run out. Which can't happen. They must run out. The question is when. Just as I was thinking they'd run out of harpoons, well, there's still a few more. I have no clue where they're launching all of these things from. Because, as far as I know... Actually, Paris have 16, don't they? They don't have 8, they got 16. That would explain it. Come on. I think this one just got spoofed by the chaff. There we go, knocked out. Next. Come on, Kirov. Make it happen. There's the Sea Whiz. Oh boy. They're on the final track. This could be a hit. It's gonna hit me on the bow. Oh. That's really bad. That might have knocked out a whole bunch more weapon systems. Jesus, our SSN-19s, they were not the problem, but our SSN-14s are all gone. The Sea Whiz at least can still be repaired. I want to make sure that those things get functional very soon. Yeah, all damage control teams are here. We have moderate hull damage now. Damn it. That's a lot of harpoons you gotta fend off against in this scenario. Well done to Vulcan. At least we're doing 25 knots again, so we might still be able to drop off our Spetsnaz troops. If we can live long enough. Given the current situation, I'm not so sure we can. With our Hilo airborne, we can once again acquire targets, and they're 55 and 57 miles out. So they're just shy of range of the SAN-6. I'm just going to start pushing in now. I really hope I can detect those missiles early. I'm very happy that the air search radar is still functional, so I can at least detect missiles and then be able to engage them, because most of the weapon systems, surprisingly, are still functional. Yeah, some weapon magazines are not functional anymore. The Sea Whizzes are getting fixed. Our eyeball radar is still getting fixed. But at least the ship itself, despite having moderate hull damage, is still functional. And that's what counts right now. New plan. I just noticed that the SAN-6 is inoperable. The only weapons that I still have are the SAN-4. So I have my shorter range air-to-air missiles. And I don't believe that those actually function as surface-to-surface missiles. Well, they do, but only out to a range of 8 miles. So I'm going to have to close in a lot if I want to try and do that. And seeing as the SAN-6 has been completely destroyed, I don't think we're going to get that weapon system back. That's the problem with just having this whole deck full of weapons. Basically, any hit is going to knock out an entire weapon system. So maybe I'm going to have to change the plan and just try and race for the objective. If these guys get here, so be it. We'll just have to gun them down. Or use those missiles. Ideally, I'd use the AK-100s as a last resort, but they do have a little bit more range than those SAN-4s. At only 8 miles versus 11 for the guns. Beyond that, I don't have any further options. This is an anti-submarine weapon, the rest is Sea Whiz, which, yes, can be used against missiles and can also be used against surface contacts in a pinch, but that's about it. I don't really want to have to rely upon Sea Whiz in order to knock a ship out, so we're going to have to just hope that we can make it to the exit. Unfortunately, it's not going to just be that easy, because there is yet another harpoon on the way. And with our fragile and damaged Kirov, I'm wondering if we can actually intercept this thing. We're only using our short-range interceptors, the SAN-4, and we have our Sea Whiz. But our defenses are definitely deteriorating with every hit that we take. And there's another. Come on. Knock it out. Once those things get into the final skip, I think we're toast. Yep. There it comes again. Oof. And the other one is probably also going to make it through, because I think we just lost our Sea Whiz. Damage control. Sea Whiz is functional. The question is that enough? Because... oh, actually, this one's going for chaff. So that also hit midships. Knocking out our ESM. Knocking out our SAN-4s. Inoperable, 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 inoperable. Wow, I'm now an actual gun destroyer. And we have sensors offline for another weapon system. Lovely. Survive. But the sheer amount of harpoons that these guys are sending is getting a little ridiculous. I don't quite know where they're getting all these. That has me a bit surprised. It's becoming fairly obvious that my ship has been so badly damaged, my sensors are starting to get a little inoperable. Because this thing, this harpoon, got visually identified. We don't have any further detection systems. Yes, our air search radar is still functional. But that's about the only part of the ship that apparently still works. Because our supposed weapon systems slash sonar, sensor systems are not doing a whole lot. Like the top dome and the pop group. There's another V. Says it's visually getting detected. Thankfully, it's getting fooled by the chaff. But our defenses, they're pretty much gone. Especially our visual defense, or our radar defenses. So I'm kind of hoping that by putting this helicopter, my last helicopter, between those contacts and myself, that I'll be able to detect incoming missiles. But it's a stretch. These guys are now at about 50 mile range from the Kirov. And that means that we still don't have range on them. But that works both ways. I am very interested in seeing exactly what sort of range they have. So let's say that it is a surface ship. Maybe a Perry. So it's an Oliver Hazard Perry class, which has the Mark 75 gun with a range of 8 miles. So our guns outrange them by 3 miles. If it's a Garcia, it has a Mark 30, which has a 12-mile range. So they outrange us. On top of that, I'm not even sure if our... Do we even have guidance for this, shells? Sensors offline. I doubt that. Yet by the looks of it, we might not have the range. I'm not really sure how to fix this scenario at this point. Actually, hold on for a second. What's the range on an interceptor from a Perry? Because if that's not that big, it's 25 miles. Okay, so if I can stay outrange at 25 miles, I should just be able to stay safe with the helo. So let's go for a range circle on you, 25 miles. And the other one too. I'm pausing here to just get those circles accurate. There we go. So if I'm just staying here, there's not a whole lot that these guys can do. They're going to look at me all frustrated, and that's about it. Oh, we still have an active sonobuoy. It's a little out of range, though. Okay, Kirov. Last couple of miles. Survive, buddy. Just as I thought I'm safe, I see 2 more radar contacts appear. They're meager radar contacts. Oh, thank God. You a fishing boat too? Yeah. Okay, I was expecting more harpoons to suddenly start coming from that way, but apparently fishing boats. Let's ask NATO to identify themselves. But they're not that eager to respond. Okay, so at least those guys I don't have to consider a threat. The problem is, these guys are doing 25 knots. And I'm doing 25 knots, but it does look like they might arrive in that circle before I do. And I'm not sure if that's good. Let's go for a ruler. So they got 25 miles, let's say about 20 miles to do. Which they can do pretty quick. And I have quite a lot more to do. From the Kirov. It's 40 miles. 35 if I take it to the right edge of the circle. So, I guess the best thing to try and do is try and engage these ships. Just try and hit them with the gun. While definitely risking the ship. Because at this point, there's a very serious chance that I will lose the entire Kirov. Simply because I'm going to have to try and engage these guys with guns. And if they would have been hit by a shipwreck, they wouldn't be here. So, they're definitely dangerous ships. They definitely still have offensive capabilities. Now, what makes it still weirder that those guns are on the back. So I'm gonna have to do a bit of a weird maneuver, I think, to try and get into range and then sail parallel onto them, thus potentially exposing an even bigger part of the ship to damage, and just shoot them with the guns. I think that is what it has come to. A gunfight in 1990. One of these radar contacts is about to make it into that circle. Just lost track of him. I think they might have spent a decent amount of their missiles. Because even though I have been in range with this helo for quite a while, they're just not actively doing anything. So, okay. I know that I can definitely get to that circle. The thing is, NATO is kind of waiting me there. And I'm not exactly in a fighting condition. Also, my ship sometimes seems to refuse to listen to orders. Like, I told it to go to, let's say, about 060, but it's still on 023. So it looks like the ship might have some rudder damage. I can assume direct control. I'll just manually push it over. And now it'll definitely do it. There we go. Just that with direct control you don't really get an indication of exactly where you're going. Because if you press D, a bit like in World of Warships, your rudder stays onto one side. Whereas I would very much appreciate it if the ship would just, you know, keep going to... See? I told it to go here, but it's turning port. Initially I thought it might have been to do with weapons free, but it turned into weapons tight, so it's not allowed to shoot yet. And sometimes the ship will try and turn broadside in order to open up. So I'm not exactly sure what my ship's doing. Not yet. So let's, again, take my no control, turn her to starboard. That radar contact's about 19 miles out. I want to engage 7082. Shame I'll probably never know what that is. Yeah, we still don't know. Hitting it with a sonar ping is probably not going to work that well. Not at 19 miles. Okay, Kirov, close the distance. Blow them out of the water. We got a new track, 7094. What? Oh. Okay, they still have interceptors. Okay, cool. So there goes the last helo. And with that, my surface search is gone. That means I cannot actually track any targets. I cannot shoot any targets. So maybe right now, the best thing to do is just head to that circle and see if the mission will still complete. Or if we're going to have to take out the NATO ships that are currently hiding there. We're almost there. Steady as she goes. ETA? About 10 minutes. Bruised and battered, Kirov might just make it over the finish line. Oh, we have him on visual. Alright then. Turn to port. Engage with the guns. Because we now have range. We have 500 rounds. Hard to port. Come on. Surprised that seeing as we have visual, we don't really know what it is yet. Is that... It does say sensors are offline, so it's... Maybe the rangefinders are knocked out. Considering what we put the ship through, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Come on, no. Towards the objective, if you will. 7 minutes. Oh, we're taking gunfire. That was definitely not thunder. These damn helicopters are just circling here. And I can't do anything about it. Okay, Kirov, come on, come on, come on. Just a bit farther, buddy. Yeah, there's all sorts of naval shells landing around me, hitting the ship as well. I think we're gonna get blown up right before the finish line. And it sucks that we cannot shoot back. Can we hit him with the RBUs, or are those knocked out? We're we're engaging with the RBUs. That's optimistic. What's the range on that? RBU 6? 3 miles. Yeah, we're definitely not engaging with the RBUs. Damage is definitely mounting. The rudder has been damaged now. Oh, come on. Limp into that area. Oh, it's raining shells. Look at that. There's the ship. We finally have her. It's a Perry. I think the Perry crew is just as surprised as we are that it has come to this. And moreover, that we can't actually do anything about it. Come on. Get into the circle. While we still have a ship. Victory! We've arrived. We made enough time to stay. Yeah, because we're sinking. PDSS, you were ordered to kill defectors on site. Repeat, kill on site. That's a weird outcome for the scenario, but I did expect this to happen. Simply because once you get to a circle, a trigger happens in the mission editor and it says, yep, you're done. So that's exactly what happened here. So, on paper, we've won the scenario, but I say in practice, we've definitely been killed. Because this ship, extremely heavily damaged. And give NATO a few more minutes and they would finish the Kirov completely. As for what I killed one P3, I killed the Ticonderoga, I killed the Gary, and I killed the Wadsworth, so 2 Perrys. And a few Helos to boot. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed the scenario. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. And I look forward to doing more scenarios. This is interesting. Albeit challenging at times. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon for more.